Hello viewer, and welcome to another episode of First Foods Made Fast. An episode where you get to learn about foods that God gave us, the first foods, and how quickly we can make them in our kitchen. A twist to it is that these same foods can be used to help us manage, to help us deal with certain conditions. So today, we will have something very exciting. But before that, I am your host, Tabitha Ochieng, and my pleasure to introduce our guest,
Jackie Mutheu.
Feel welcome once again.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so we will go right into it and talk about the celery pie. That is what we are making. You look at my table and it's like full, you know, because there's so much that we are going to deal with here. So if you could just take us through.
So we are making a simple
Celery pie.
even though we have so much here, but the preparation
celery is the main thing.
is the main thing.
And we'll talk about that, I believe.
You sure?
But first, show us.
So we have celery,
Yes.
we have our green and red pepper, we have our steamed potatoes, then we have our wheat flour, then we have our rock pink Himalayan salt, then we have our homemade sauce.
Tomato sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we have our
Cauliflower.
Then we have onions, coriander or dhania in the local language, and butternut, and we have our serving or is it a mixing bowl
That's okay.
and water and olive oil
That's okay, Jackie.
and
Thank you so
rolling
much.
pin.
Jackie, you know, sometimes you go off.
But they need to know what
What we are doing,
Yeah,
and that
what
we'll
we are
use all those things.
Sure.
Okay. Fine. So I know we want to talk so much about these things and also talk about kidney as a problem. But because we also have to make this thing really, really fast, we will first start by steaming what we are supposed to steam. And as we put it to steam, then I will be mixing the dough.
Yeah.
The pie dough.
The pie dough.
And we will be talking.
We'll be talking.
Right. So my fire on.
Yeah. So we are talking about the kidney. And where are the kidney located? They are below the ribs, just behind the belly. Mamtabi.
Yeah? Yes. I'm cooking.
You're
Please.
cooking. Okay, we are talking about the kidneys.
Yes, the
and the
kidneys.
kidneys are located just below the ribs,
The ribs.
behind the belly. And their function is to filter the blood, to filter the waste and the toxins.
Could I kindly have the saucepan?
Okay, you want us to
before I get
concentrate
this
us-
one,
Okay, you want us to
before I
concentrate
get
there?
it going,
Okay, let's
you will
concentrate.
not have my concentration.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought you'd then be this way so that you pass me the
pass you
things I need.
Okay.
Jackie. Okay, so we have the onions here, the celery.
The celery.
I'll need the butternut. So these ones will just steam for a short while, maybe a little less than 10 minutes. We have this. The coriander will come later, but we need the cauliflower.
Cauliflower.
Yes. The cauliflower. Okay, so we'll let these steam. Then, as we do that, I also need to quickly mix the pie dough.
Okay.
All right, but yes, about the kidney. Just
About the
start
kidney.
telling us. Yes,
You ready now?
a little bit.
So we are saying that the kidneys are located down the ribs behind the belly,
Yeah.
and their function is to filter the blood. So to filter the toxins and the waste products, to create hormones, example the adrenaline, serotonin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Create. You know, I didn't know that bit about hormones.
Or to regulate the function of the hormones, and also to balance the electrolytes. We hear of the potassium, calcium, magnesium, phosphorus. Those are the examples of the electrolytes.
Okay.
So you're mixing the
So
flour.
yeah, I'll do just the whole wheat flour, our pink salt, and this is just a little bit. We'll do 2-3 pinches.
Is it low in sodium?
This, I know it's packed with minerals. Packed with minerals. But the sodium bit, you may have to tell me.
It's not as much as the
Not as the white salt?
as the white salt, because it doesn't lead to water retention.
The fact that it's natural.
It's
so
natural.
it comes, it's not processed.
Yeah, it's not
Remember,
processed.
what we are actually emphasizing on is, you know, our items in the natural state.
Sure.
Yes, they serve us
So
better.
it's beneficial for someone who is under.
Jackie, what became of our
dustbin?
dustbin? I think it's over there. Can you kindly just bring it?
Okay.
Thank you. There. Okay.
So it's beneficial for a kidney patient, yeah, because the sodium levels, then they usually cancelled on not taking products that have high sodium levels.
High sodium levels.
Yeah, because you'll realize one of the symptoms is the swelling of the feet and swelling of the ankles because of excess sodium levels in the blood. Because when the kidney filters are damaged, then the kidney is not in a state where it can balance the electrolytes, yeah? So you find that there is excess of the sodium in the system.
You know, you're making a very serious point, and I'm also doing a very serious thing.
know.
I'm feeling a bit divided, but keep talking. I'm getting.
You're getting. So we've seen the function of the kidney. We've gone through the functions of the kidney in a simple way.
Yes, filtering.
Filtering.
So it filters the blood. Let me see what I can remember. Filters the blood.
It filters the blood.
How about the bit of waste?
The part of filtering is it takes out the waste and the toxins.
And the toxins,
Yeah.
yes.
And then there's this part of
Hormones.
regulating the hormones. The likes of adrenaline, serotonin, name them. Then you have the balancing of the electrolytes. And we've mentioned the electrolytes, which are potassium, sodium, and calcium, and phosphorus. And now we're talking
Those
about...
ones I don't remember.
I know, but you will. That's why we decided to do this recipe in reference to that disease, right?
All right, yes.
Yes.
So that there'll be enough things to remind me. Okay.
So, if I want to know, or maybe, what are the symptoms of kidney disease?
Kidney disease.
Yeah. You know some of
Well, the only time I talked to somebody who had kidney issues, and I got surprised. They were saying they had very strange back pains. Not backache, but pains that radiate somewhere here at
where
the back, the lower
where
back.
the kidneys are located.
Yes, where the kidneys are located.
Yeah, because they're in either sides of the spine.
And there was that. There was also the bit of, and this one really shocked me, that she wasn't passing out urine. She would go like days without passing urine.
Yeah, that could be because of not taking enough water.
Not taking enough water.
You see, when you don't take enough water, because it's this water that helps the kidney to secrete the urine, yeah?
Yes.
So there will be low urine, therefore leading to kidney problems or dysfunction. Yeah.
Okay, now you know.
Let me say kidney problems. I don't want to use big terms.
I'm looking at a vicious cycle. Because the kidney patients do not take enough water. And because they don't take enough water, then they don't have enough urine to pass out.
Yeah.
But the little water they have is also retained because the kidney is failing to
and
do
wait a
its
minute,
work.
you know that low urine, it means then it can also lead to kidney problem, which are the kidney stones.
Kidney stones, another issue, another problem. Wow.
Because when there is calcium in the urine, then it's a big problem because it leads to the calcium crystals.
Wow. Now that is sounding bad. I think we need to make have some hope. You know, what is it? Okay, you
The
have
hope,
a
at
kidney
least
problem.
we have a kidney problem.
Yes.
And maybe you have the kidney stones, yeah? You can get the citric fruits or foods that contain citric. For example, lemons, oranges, melon juice, so that this citric will react to the calcium.
It will kind of dissolve it?
It will kind of dissolve that, the kidney stones.
Okay. And then, you know, for me...
It will kind of resolve the calcium crystals. Because this citric will combine with will bind the calcium.
But what is this thing about them not taking in water?
This thing about not taking water, you know, there's this idea of I can take juice, I can take soda, and I think that's good for me.
There's that, and there's also the idea that since there is water retention, you do not want to add to water retention.
You don't want to add
I've
to
heard
water.
some people
Sure,
talk like
if
that.
you have the kidney issues.
Yes,
yeah?
if you have kidney issues.
Yeah.
So they end up then not taking sufficient water.
Sure.
But
And so maybe before we reach that state,
Yes.
even before we go to a state where our kidney filters are damaged, and you want to like prevent the damage of the kidney, there are still people who have that challenge of taking water.
Okay, Jackie,
Let
I
me
think
check
we
if they're
have
steamed.
to. We have to.
I can switch it
clear
off.
this
Let me
place. No,
switch-
don't switch it off yet.
I think they
Give it
look
a
like
bit
they're
more time.
cooked.
But let's clear this so that we can spread out
Okay.
and do the pie dough.
The
I
pie
think this
dough.
is
It's
done.
ready.
Yeah. This is done.
Yeah, so
if we could
hydration
just
is
clear,
key.
Clear this place first.
Yeah,
We
I put them
do
here.
the. If you could have all these on the other side. So that we have room here to roll out the dough. I know you're itching to talk and
No.
talk and talk.
No, we
but
can-
yes, this has to be done first.
Okay.
Because by the time the show is over, we need to have a pie ready.
Sure.
Yeah.
So hydration is key. Yeah, we need to take a lot of water so as to help the kidney with secreting the
Oh, you went with my
the
rolling
urine.
pin.
Yeah, sorry.
But I will also need, you have the baking dish on the other side, and it's an interesting shape. Okay, so yeah, we'll just try to do with that. Okay, so yeah, you're telling
So
me
about
something.
water, taking enough water, it helps in the function of the kidney. And then we had talked about taking calcium-rich foods so as to avoid kidney stones. But there's this thing of, you know, the function of the calcium. What is the function of the calcium? Maybe...
Okay, generally I relate it to bones.
Yeah, generally it's to
Generally,
bones.
yes.
There's also another function that we commonly don't mention.
Which is?
Balancing of the pH levels.
Calcium does that, huh?
It does that.
Okay, that's a new one.
So, blood, which is the river of life, when it is acidic, then that means you have to balance the pH levels. The calcium will be leached from the bones, will be leached from the bones to balance the acidity level in the blood, yeah?
Okay.
To balance the acid level in the blood. So, our sources of calcium.
Maybe I'll just ask you to come help me a little bit. We want to lay this thing. The shapes are not, you know, but we will, yeah, I think by the time we do this, that will be fine. So we want to lay this into our dish. So if you could just bring the dish closer, please. Okay. All right, that way. Yep, and you try really hard to shape it so that it
fits
somehow we are managing.
It's coming.
The excess we will cut off. Yeah. This is actually not very easy, but yeah. Big things about the kidney. Okay, what I don't have here is a fork to make some. This didn't go down. Okay, that's good. There we go. So that's just about done.
So we were talking about the salt.
Yes.
Yeah,
the
there's this part of restriction for the kidney patients not to take sodium rich foods. So we have options in the kitchen where we can saute the onions, garlic, and oil. And the garlic and the onion, because of the sulfur compounds, they give.
I think that
you want
is
us to
done.
stir? You want us to stir?
Yeah, where's the
cooking stick?
Cooking stick. Good, thank you. So what we are going to do next is to just put it there and quickly blend it. And once that is done, we do the next and we throw it into the oven as we continue talking. So the blender, and I think to be able to do it faster, I'll use this, the blender.
Let me connect it or after.
Okay, yeah, you connect.
Okay.
You connect because we need to use it now. Yeah, I told you some of these things. Okay, so we do this and we're just crushing it a little bit. It doesn't have to be fine, okay? And I think that'll be too full for that jug, so we go right ahead.
So maybe we can put the broth to for greasing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that we don't strain the blender.
Okay, that's it. As much as it can take, because we know, we want to have it also dry. Okay, Jackie, please stop that thing. Yes, it has been quite a while.
Sure.
And yeah, it's not as smooth as I really would have wanted it. But
I think this one, it can still work like this.
Yes, it will work. Yeah, but you know what I would have wanted.
I know.
Yeah, I know. Probably that's the best we can get from our blender. Okay, fine. Remember, it's fast foods first, so we have to really be fast. Welcome back from the break. You're watching Fast Foods Made Fast, and today we were preparing celery pie. Please bring it out. Okay, and could I have a bowl in which to mix it?
You can mix in here.
Yes, that will do. So, this will really help because the potatoes now will act as some kind of a bender. Goodness.
Blinder, bender?
No, I've not said the right thing yet. Binder is what I meant to say. Where is my
for the potatoes, it's a binder. So we have our cauliflower, and the cauliflower is low in potassium, something which the kidney patients should be cautious about.
Oh, it's low.
It's low in potassium. When the kidney filters are damaged, then it's not able to balance the potassium level in the blood. So the potassium levels are high. So it's recommended that you take foods that are low in potassium. So the cauliflower and the celery, they're a bit low in the potassium.
The reason this pie now will be very good for
kidney patients.
Now that is adding up. Okay, if I could have just some little room and have this one over here. And quickly have it in the oven. But after a little decoration. Jackie, you're saying such big things that I want to just keep listening.
And the way I'm simplifying them.
Yeah, you are simplifying them, but they're big things. Okay,
what's
just
big?
go right
What's
ahead.
big? Maybe you could share. What's the big part in what I've said?
Ebu, tell us something about electrolytes. That one.
Electrolytes, they're just potassium, the calcium, which have different functions in our body. Yeah. Potassium is good for the heart. Sodium, if the sodium levels are high, we saw that it leads to edema, the retention of water in the ankles and so it balances the fluid in the body. And then we have calcium, which is strength. The benefits are strengthening the bones, balancing the pH level. So about the pH level, we've been talking about blood being alkaline.
So my coriander,
your coriander,
just to go
just
over
for garnishing
this.
or
Yes,
flavor.
just for garnishing and the flavor. And of course the color. Remember, we've always talked about the rainbow colors. Yes, so we'll have that. And then we'll have the pepper over it. And it will be ready to go. Yep. As far as I know, I will talk about water. That one is simple for me.
You'll talk about water.
Yes,
Are we
water.
using the sauce?
But water, not in the sense that we're going to really encourage the kidney patients to just take water, but at least they should try to take it, because with that water, then the kidneys will have what to...
Will be able to secrete the urine.
Yes, to secrete the urine. And I think what is more is that something like celery helps. Have you noticed, like when you take a celery juice or something? Let me put this in the oven and we will continue with that discussion. My oven is preheated, so I believe it should take just a short while and we have our pie ready. Now there are other things that you've been talking about. I just want to listen.
Now you want me to repeat them?
Yeah, because...
You're sure? You want
I
me
thought
to
we were
repeat?
here so that you educate me. Now, before I get it, your teaching is not good enough. Okay. Yeah, now that is clean.
Okay.
I probably just need somewhere to keep this so that maybe you just give me that, please. Yeah, to keep it. When it remains like this, I'll make a small chapati out of it. The lids will do.
The lids will do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, good.
So, which part do you
Here.
want me to repeat?
I told you what I remember very well is water. Yes, but we've talked about the kidney. Now, maybe I should ask this question. Somebody has been diagnosed with kidney stones. What concrete advice are we going to give this person? This person is like me, a layman who will not understand those many complicated things. What are you going to tell them?
What leads basically to the kidney stones? There are so many things, but like you've talked about water, water increases, or rather it helps the kidney filters. It helps the kidney filters. How? Because you've seen that one of the major functions of the kidney is to filter, to take away the toxins and the waste products. Yeah, and the primary waste product is the urine, right?
Yes.
So this water will increase or will help the kidneys to secrete the urine, the water that we drink. Yeah, so if we don't take enough water, then there'll be low urine.
There'll be low urine, and the moment there's low urine, then there's a possibility that that is also contributing to the kidney stones.
Sure.
Now that I understand.
Yeah, when there's low
That one
urine,
now,
and this low urine, remember when the urine is low, also it's concentrated.
Concentrated.
Yeah,
It's
concentrated with toxins.
Yes.
And the smell.
How do you know that it is concentrated?
The color.
The color and also the
smell.
Very good. Now that one I've also understood.
You've understood now?
Yes.
So this can lead to kidney problem, which is the kidney stones.
Kidney stones, yes. So now we have kidney stones.
Kidney stones.
Unfortunately. So what are we going to do?
Because now the kidney filters are damaged also. Now the electrolytes, they are more and they're coming out because they're not able to be filtered. So there's calcium in the urine, there are oxalates. So to bind this calcium, we have the citric fruits.
The citrus fruits.
The citrus, or they contain citric acid.
Yes, they contain
the citrus fruits.
So those are things like lemon,
oranges, melon
How about
juice, pineapple. I'm talking of lemon. I'm not sure about pineapple. I doubt it if it has citric acid. I think it's lemon, oranges, and melon juice.
And,
so the citric will bind with the calcium so as to reduce the kidney stones, to reduce the absorption of the calcium, of the too much calcium.
Oh, okay.
So to reduce the kidney stones. And the calcium will bind with the oxalate, which also which also leads to the absorption of the oxalates in the bloodstream.
Wow.
So you can use what you have in your kitchen basically to curb the kidney stones.
How about this thing about bananas?
Bananas are high in potassium.
And therefore, are they good or not good for kidney patients?
If the kidney is too much damaged, then it's not good. Because already you have high levels of potassium in the system.
Yes.
Because the kidney is not able to regulate. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why even in the preparation, like for cabbage, we steam. And then you take out the water.
You take out the water, yes.
For the potatoes as well.
Oh, even the potatoes.
So we have, that's why we've given another option of the cauliflower. You can have the cauliflower and just eat it wholesome instead of boiling and pouring the water out, so that you get the wholesome all round nutrients.
Okay, but now like we've used cauliflower here, how about, I call them sisters, how about broccoli?
Broccoli is in the same family.
It's in the same family, so that would also be okay if handled
because
well.
broccoli, you see broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, they're in the same family, but now the content of the electrolyte is different.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we want to like advise somebody there who might be having a kidney issue. My first problem is
I know you know
on
of
prevention,
of
prevention. What are the points to emphasize so that we don't get there? Because by the time we are getting to a point where we have to do, what do you call that? Dialysis. Yeah, when we have to do dialysis, you know, that's a really serious thing. And it is so serious because not many of us can afford it. Yeah? Sure. It is an expensive kind of treatment. So before you get there, how are we going to ensure that our kidneys are properly taken care of? Number one, water. Remember that one I told you, that one nimeshika.
I know.
Maji. So that as much as you can, you need to take enough water. And of course, there's even how to take water.
And you're even talking about okra water.
Yes,
if
yesterday we were talking about
water plain.
Yes, you can do okra water.
But definitely that one won't replace water still.
You need water.
You need plain
water.
Sure.
Okay? So the bit of gulping down water and taking water in sips, maybe we need to talk about that a bit.
I think you know something about that. You can.
Yes, I do. Don't you also know? Okay, when we sip down water, sip, not gulp down, then it has a chance to be absorbed more into the system, into the cells. When we tap, drain it down, then the body kind of feels like there's a flood, so it releases. And so we may be taking a lot of water, but this water does not benefit us. The water is like outside of the body. So we need to take water, and that is why warm water then is very, it is health. Yeah, it's very, very good because as you take the sips, you know, it's not easy to drain it all down, to gulp it all down. You'll be taking it in sips, and that becomes very helpful.
And just 8 glasses in a day.
Yeah, 8 glasses
which you can divide them in a day, like
so you do 2
glasses in the morning. Yeah, like after breakfast, give it like 2 hours. Take another like one glass. It's manageable.
I believe
we just try to make them at least not less than 8 glasses in a day.
Okay, so we've talked about water. Then generally we want to encourage us to eat plenty of fruits and plenty of vegetables. And if you can manage raw vegetables, that would be good. See, I've also tried.
Yeah, and there's another issue of straining or overworking the kidneys.
Overworking the kidneys. How do you do that? It's in there. I mean,
overworking the kidneys.
Yes.
You see, for example, if we take foods that are rich in fat, the unsaturated fats.
Very high fat.
Very high fat. the simple carbohydrates which are refined.
The refined one, highly processed
foods.
Yes.
Because when you take the highly processed foods, the body will just take what it needs, and excess is stored as fat. Because the processed food, the bran is taken out, the outer coat.
Yes.
And now you're just left with the germ and the endosperm.
Okay,
So,
which are very fine, which do not have roughage.
They don't have roughage. Yeah.
So that even makes it difficult for the kidney to...
I'm coming there.
Oh, you're coming there. I'm ahead
because
of you.
of the fat and the simple carbohydrates also again contributes to fat. It blocks and narrows and clogs the artery, which leads to blood pressure. And blood pressure actually and diabetes are the major causes of kidney problem.
Say that again. Blood pressure
and diabetes.
And diabetes.
Yeah.
So these things are so connected.
They are so connected.
Hey.
I mean, they are all of them in the body, so they must be connected. They must be connected.
I see that. Now, kindly, I'd like to wash my hands, then check on what's going on in the oven as we come nearly to the end of it.
Are you done?
Okay, Jackie, yeah, you're supposed to be telling me something, but I'm thinking this thing in the oven is ready. So why don't we check on it?
Okay.
And yep, it's done. Our pie is done. And I don't think we really have much more time, but maybe we just need to, okay, let me wring it out.
Wow,
I don't want
it's
to
ready.
get burnt. Yep. There we go.
Yes.
Our celery pie. That is it. So, Jackie, in the few minutes left, we generally talked about kidneys.
Yes.
Maybe some highlights, something to remember, something for us to take home.
Something to remember.
Yes.
So, we were linking up the dish with the kidney, yeah?
Yes.
So this is just an example. There are so many recipes we can use for us to be able to promote the function of the kidney, and even
like
to prevent
these recipes. Like
we can do the coriander plus cucumber plus celery. We can juice it, or we can take it as a salad. Maybe for the kidney patients, there's this restriction of using salt that is high in sodium.
Yes.
We have
the pink salt.
We have the pink salt.
That's a better alternative.
Yeah, we can also flavor our food by sauteing the onions and garlic.
Yes.
Which brings out the flavor. Then you won't feel like you're losing the salt. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's hope.
Okay. This is what we had for you in this show, the celery pie. And you know we have to stop now. So until next time, we want to say bye.